sign is for Shalmo Wash.
Okay.
That's the first connector trail out of the parking lot to get to Pemberton Trail. Now we're on Pemberton. And I'll show a series of clips that are going to show a bunch of different flora areas in the Sonoran Desert. It's really beautiful out here. Today was a fantastic day with not too much sun. The temperatures were great.
GoPro highlight.
And I had some typical interesting sights and adventures on this trip. This is going through a wash. You can see how sandy it is. This is like snow. It's difficult to push the front wheel through there. See, the Sonoran Desert here is actually pretty dense. Later on you'll see some other really nice places. And I come up to this sign here and it talks about this
Pemberton Ranch Homestead.
homestead used to be here. And I looked across the desert briefly and came back and then noticed the water tank.
Well, you could have a movie out here. And there's a water tank. Interesting. GoPro highlight.
I'm headed over to these mountains here in the distance. That's this western side of Pinnacle Peak. The desert out here is much more open. You can see there's less density. And this is where all the saguaro like to live.
Look at this.
Those are some really old saguaros there with the extra arms on them.
This is just absolutely amazing.
This is just a vast openness here as compared to some of the more heavily forested areas that you'll see later on.
Get much better than this. God's green earth. Except maybe the northwest. The northwest might be an exception.
I've been riding for a little while here out in this really open area and getting closer to the mountain range.
GoPro highlight.
Now starting to get up a little bit higher and closer. We're going to be paralleling those mountains and going up the eastern side of that north. And on the south sides of the slopes all over there was the brittlebush is blooming. It's really beautiful yellow daisy-like flowers.
Look side of it.
And it was just covering every single southern slope. On the northern slopes, there's a little less sun, so you'll see later on in some of the northern washes where it's very, very green and almost doesn't look like desert at all. Getting closer.
See now the north side.
So you can see that it's very green here.
Even grass.
And a couple of more washes up, you'll see that there's a lot of grass also. So any of these northern exposures, there's still moisture left in the soil, enough to support a lot more plant life, like you can see here on the left.
I see this. There's water here. You can probably actually see Pinnacle Peak in the northwestern.
And you can see we're starting to get close to the northern tip of the hills. Every once in a while you'll see a park bench out here dedicated to someone out in the middle of nowhere, it seems.
Damn great. GoPro highlight. That's That's the edge of the superstitions over there.
You can see some of these trees are like Palo Verde and ironwood trees are out here.
Lost trail, yeah. Oh, the other side.
There's a lot of creosote bush. That makes that very distinctive smell after some dampness or rain in the desert that I like.
That's interesting. I don't know what that is.
Coming down here, this place was like out in the middle of nowhere. Jackass Junction. With this skeleton perched on the top, with a Santa hat. And there's some lights on it. And there were a lot of empty cans hanging from the ceiling there, you can see. And that right in the middle is a bicycle station where you can hang your bike, pump your tires, and there's some tools hanging from it.
Wow.
I never saw this before out here. Apparently this just was erected last year. It's just some of the amazing weird things sometimes you encounter out in these deep desert trails. Now we're headed east.
Oh, look at that. GoPro highlight.
You get these lava rock formations. There's several of them along this route here.
You're still going the wrong way.
Sometimes they look like, you can imagine they look like animals. Like this one up here looks like an owl or a camel or something. Here is taking some photos of the desert himself.
Photo stop.
You can see that the desert has changed back again from a little less lush and more open. And here's this weird bicycle chasing horse.
Huh? Sure. Are you lost? Oh. Pretty interesting. I've never seen that before.
And if you listen carefully, just right after the initial encounter, you can hear the horses popping. This horse galloped behind me and followed me for like a couple of miles through the desert. So I just kind of spaced myself and make sure I didn't lose it, but at a certain point I just started going a little bit faster. Maybe the horse got a little tired and I left it behind. Just another typical weird encounter with people out in the interesting people out in the desert.
He is still galloping behind me.
And I'm on a side trail. It's called Scenic Trail. And again, you can see the brittlebush flowers on these places. That takes on, gets up some elevation above the desert and rides along a ridgeline for a while. And just some terrific views all the way around that you'll see.
Look at that, see that?
So over there is Fountain Hills.
Fountain Hills,
you can't see that in the distance, but Fountain is going on right now.
Keep going. Yeah, I remember this. Look at this. North side.
But out here you get these wonderful, huge, mind-bending vistas and distances that can be really beautiful in the Sonoran Desert. More brittlebush.
Full stitch. A little bit better. GoPro highlight. GoPro highlight. There we go. Look at this.
This is actually looking north now, towards the Mogollon Rim. You can see it way in the distance there, through the Superstition Mountains.
The rim. Put that on there, going down there.
Looking east to the Superstitions. Looking southeast.
GoPro highlight. The mountain bike.
And sometimes you get passed by people.
GoPro highlight.
This is a really great 3-hour ride in about 22 miles of track out in the desert. Now on the backside, this got like really lumpy here. All these medium-sized rocks, and they're all loose, so it's skittered your front tire, your bike around.
Yeah, it's rocky here.
It really makes you appreciate full suspension on a bike as you're hammering down through this. And back down on the desert floor on the final track back to the truck.